try. Welcome everybody to our multi-nations call. I'm talking to you tonight about releasing the stories. Everybody give the arms a, we're going to release those stories tonight. Whoosh. Okay, so everybody gets stories in our head, and no matter what level you are in this business, brand new or a national vice president, we can all get them. So I presented this training at the regional vice president get together that we have on the Gold Coast once a year at Sanctuary Cove. And I felt like a lot of people came up to me in tears afterwards saying, oh my God, I felt like you were talking to me. And I'm like, no, it's because everybody has experienced this at some time in their Arbonne journey. So if you're hearing things that you think, oh my God, that's me, just rest assured that you are not alone. So people that know me really well, they do tell me that I'm a good storyteller, and I may even sometimes stretch the truth a little bit for a good story, for a good yarn, and I think that's okay, isn't it? But I started my career out as a primary school teacher many years ago, and my favourite part of a day was reading the kids a story on the carpet, and they would just all be eyes up on me, hanging on my every word. Later in life, I became a mum, and my favourite part of that day, even to this day, and my kids are 11 and 13 next week, they still love a bedtime story. I used to be in a very unhappy marriage. Now you know why I've bribed my kids to be in rooms with the door shut. It was a classic golden handcuff, sorry. So I had no say, no power, and no independence. And I used to tell myself a story. It's okay. I should be really grateful for what I have. I live in a nice home. I have great friends. I've got loving parents and 2 healthy children. I just need to make the best of a situation and focus on the positives. My son once told me, Mum, you are too positive. And I said, that's not possible. You can't be too positive. He said, Mum, if we were in a plane and it was crashing, you'd be like, oh, quick, kids, come to the window, look out. What a great view from this angle. So after a few years of telling myself this story, that it was okay, I decided to tell myself a different story. And that one was that I deserved more and that I should be loved in a marriage. So a few months after that story in my head switched, we promoted to region, and that was 5 years ago now. I felt really free and strong and proud of myself. And I had said to myself, if I can replace my full-time school teacher income and be home with my children, I'll be really happy. So that's what I did, and that's where I stayed for 5 years. An RVP earning the equivalent to a full-time school teacher income. I'll just insert earnings.arbonne.income.com. What is it? earnings.arbonne.com. But this has been approved by Best to say. I started a new relationship. I became really focused on my children, and their happiness was always my priority. They were my why. But I was stuck in my business because the story I was telling myself was holding me there. I thought that becoming a national vice president meant that you had to neglect your family, work crazy hours, and have no life. I'm sure many people can relate to being stuck at their level. You may or not realize this yet, but it may be because you're telling yourself this is as far as you can go. I remember a conversation with now MVP Kristen Stewart when she was a very new consultant, and she said to me, if I can just make $500 a week to pay for my daughter's therapy, I'll be happy. That's the story she told herself, and that's exactly what she achieved. Area manager in 3 months and stayed there for 4 years, earning on average of $500 a week, around $2,000 a month. I've got dear friends that tell me, I'll be an MVP one day. I'm an Arbonne lifer one day. but I'm too busy for that now. I work full time. I've got 3 kids. I've got health issues. My partner's not supportive. There's stories. I want you to reflect. What is the story you are telling yourself up here? Just over 18 months ago, my children questioned why I wasn't an MVP. They were my why, like they were everything to me to be a stay-home present mother in their lives. And they said to me, why does Lynn get to go to Maui every year and bring us back gifts, but we don't get to go on those trips? And I replied, because Lynn works harder than me. Her children are all grown up and she's got more time to dedicate to her business than I do. My children looked at me and said, we don't mind if you have to work harder. You deserve to go to Maui and we want to go with you. So the next day, when I woke up and walked into my office, this is what was on my office door. Can you see that? You've got this, Mum. Come on, Hawaii time. Come on, Mum, you can do it. I bet you $1 million we will go to Hawaii next year. I'll say, why? You have not stopped working so hard. Come on, Mum, we can do it. Let's go. Let's get ready to Hawaii. Keep trying. Let's earn that trip away. And she stuck all photos all over it just to remind me of her why. My partner was there and her brother was there. And it was stuck right there, boom, in my face every day when I walked into my office. So I changed the story I was telling myself. I created a new vision. I recorded it in a video to myself. I updated my vision board that still had a picture on the Mercedes-Benz I'd been driving for 4 years on it, and a picture of me walking across this stage I'd already walked across. The story was really important to me, the compelling vision. So a story I wrote in the first person 1 year ahead as if it had already happened. The vision was so crystal clear. I could hear the waves. I could smell the salt in the air in Maui, and I could see my family running into the ocean in front of me and spotting a turtle. I know that sounds like specific and self-indulgent, but that's how clear that vision became of that little snippet of time there. Then I got to work. I had to seriously up my activity. I asked more people than I can count to join my business. I said yes to every DA and event I was invited to speak at. I was launching new consultants personally all the time, and I served my customers going beyond and above anything I'd ever done before. And I said 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 more times than I can remember to step out of my comfort zone. And I stayed up way later at night than I wanted to, and I got up way earlier than I'd ever done before in my life. Even on the day when we were closing out Nation, negative stories started to creep back in. Are we ready? Can we do this? Is our team big enough? Can we maintain 160,000 QV per month? In that moment, I called my long-term accountability partner and now, last month, MVP Natalie Bradley. She helped me shut those stories down. She assured me that I was worthy. It was our time and our team was ready. We had Nation in the bag. I got off the call and worked like crazy. The whole team did, until almost close of business at the end of month. And some of you were there for that moment. We promoted to Nation that last night in July and saw Kristen and her team promote the following month. My exact vision became a reality in Maui this year in January, and I'm not kidding. As my daughter waded in front of the water in front of me, I'm going to show you this picture. As she walked in front of me, I was following her with my camera, and just as I looked at her, I just missed it on the camera. You can almost see it under the water. A turtle just jumped off the rock and into the water and splashed in front of her. And I was like a crazy person going, oh my God, it was a turtle. And it was like, everyone's like, okay, she really loves turtles. You know, that's nice. You know, it's Turtle Cove. There's a lot of turtles around here. And I'm like looking at Frank going, you know my vision? And he's like, I know your vision. I know it. That was it, wasn't it? And I'm like, yeah, that was my vision. That's what I had dreamt about, prayed about, visualized, affirmed for so many months. And it came true the day we arrived in Maui. The power of your mind is limitless. So if you're new and you're thinking all this stuff we go on about affirmations and gratitude journals and vision boards and compelling visions is a little bit hocus pocus, it's not. It really, really does work. So at the new MVP breakfast in Maui, I sat next to the incredible Rima Rafay. You may recognize her from the catalogue. But I didn't know that while we were sitting there eating our breakfast that she was about to get up and speak. We discovered we both took 9 years to promote to National Vice President. We both brought our families with us for the trip. And moments later, when she got up to the lectern, I was just so blown away to hear that she was the first Muslim MVP in Arbonne. I was not prepared for her story. She was raised in Canada, where she suffered incredible mental and physical abuse at primary school because of her race and religion. When her parents moved to help her escape the bullies, she actually changed schools to escape the bullies. She spent her high school years eating her lunch in a toilet cubicle. She spiraled into severe depression and at times wanted to end her life because I've got to have a sip of water because I'm so cold. Because of the unconditional love and encouragement she received from her father, she managed to finish her education, get a degree, and a fantastic career. When Arbonne crossed her path, she was a new mum and she was looking for something to give her that sense of fulfillment just like I did, while being a full-time mum was really expected in her culture. Her friends in her community really got behind her new business. And even after achieving RVP, she just didn't feel deserving. She felt ashamed of the title. She still saw that overweight Indian schoolgirl hiding in the toilets because that was the story she was telling herself. Look at her now, an ENVP and featured in our catalogue. I chatted with her on the beach while our children swam in the shoreline, and I said to her husband, you must be so proud of your wife. And he said he was immensely proud of what she had achieved, but mostly of what her story is now doing to change the lives of others. We all use stories all the time. We use them on social media to give testimonials. We tell stories at events to market our products, and we tell personal stories at DAs. But the most important story we are telling ourselves is the one in our own head. Be honest with yourself. Are you telling yourself a story that will change your future or a story that is holding you back? Maybe you've already reached AM or region, and you're telling yourself that you don't deserve that title, so you're just clinging on, just maintaining. Maybe you feel like you've burned too many bridges, you've lost too many relationships, it's too much work, you're not pretty enough, young enough, smart enough to achieve what your heart really desires. I'm here as living proof to tell you, if the story is right in your head, you can achieve anything. My New Year's resolution last year was to read 12 personal development books. That's one a month. I divided the pages of each book by 30 days, and it was just a few pages a day, every day, non-negotiable. An atomic habit. I'm going to share with you my 12 books after the call. But the knowledge I gained from these books, I shared with my team, and they too started book clubs, book swaps, and constantly recommending books on our team page. My biggest book recommendation of the year, which I recommended to Erica, and I think she's finished it, or maybe the audio, is The Awakened Woman by Tarari Trent. She is Oprah Winfrey's favourite guest of all time. She was forced into marriage at age 13, and by 18 years of age, she had 4 children. Girls in her community didn't finish school and they didn't have dreams and aspirations. They were housewives and mothers. Tarari changed that story by breaking the mold, and today she funds schools for girls all over Africa, and she holds a PhD. I truly believe you are where you are in your business. It's a true reflection of your self-worth. And the best way to fuel self-worth is with personal development, exercise, and surrounding yourself with people that are the same caliber. So I think we're in the right company, because Arbonne understands that connection between the physical health and the mental health, having a healthy mind. I started Arbonne 10 years ago to improve my skin. Years later, when nutrition was introduced, it improved my health. But there is no SKU code for the product that improves what happens up here. As a leader, you need to protect and develop your mind's health. Make time for yourself to avoid burning out, and continuously fill your mind with stories that serve you. Every one of you here tonight on this call has what it takes to go all the way. I have no doubt. I'm going to leave you with the Instagram quote the same little girl, Cleo, shared on the way back from Maui this year. I hope you can see that okay. I am so grateful that my mum worked so hard every morning before school, after school, in the car, waiting for me at dance. Whenever she could, she worked hard, because she knew that me, Harry, herself, friends and family all wanted her to earn that trip to Hawaii and become a national vice president. On the night that she became a national vice president, I think I was the proudest daughter in the universe. 100 million thousand thank yous to my amazing, loving and hardworking, beautiful mum. I have to say, it was one of the best holidays I've ever had, and one I will never forget. I love you. So guys, I just want to say to you, it is all worth it. I know you're not all mums. I'm sure the mums out there can relate. But if you're not a mum, you need to connect this to your why and your story in your head. And if your story isn't great, you can change it. I'm going to go back to the slide with the books. And there she is. That's Tarari Trent, and that's the book I mentioned, The Awakened Woman. And there's my other book recommendations too. I can pop that on the bottom of the call. Thank you, guys. I hope there's some inspiration there for everyone. Now I can see some beautiful comments in the chat. Thank you, guys. I'll post the recording too to all the leaders tomorrow. Have a fantastic week. We have got so much time to smash goals for the rest of this month. There's nearly a week to go. Anything is possible. And do you know what, guys? Do you know what is possible is people being in Maui, if Maui goes ahead in January. But if you are a new consultant, a district manager, area, region, you can be a nation by Christmas. That's the power of our mindset. So there are no, like, you don't have to follow the leader. There are no months, you know, we know the averages on the earnings.arbonne form, but we're not average. No one on this call is average. Don't let average hold you back. You know, I don't like sharing sometimes that it took me 9 years, but that was my journey. I had a lot to overcome personally, and being a single mum can be challenging at times, but don't let anything stop you and hold you back. Just get your compelling vision clear and it's going to happen. And I'll see you all in Maui. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Jodie.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Jodie.
Thank you.